All right, what's happening here is it is July 19th and I've begun working on this camper again. I have a lot of plans for it. Let's get this party started. All right, so what am I doing? What I'm doing is I'm gonna sell this thing, but before I sell it, I want to make sure it's safe for whoever buys it. Do you see, I don't know if you can tell, but the tongue is lifting up, it's bending up. And I planned on building a new hitch for this thing. I don't trust my skills when it comes to someone else's life. So I know the axles and the springs, I did all that. But as I went, I made sure I was doing it right, making everything super strong. So I feel comfortable with all of the axle and spring work back there. I triple checked everything, hasn't moved an inch, it tows perfect. I'm not worried about that. There's a little bit of work left there to be done, some finish welding and some painting so it all matches. But that tongue, okay, that tongue is built for 1,197 pounds because this was a 1,200 pound trailer. I didn't get the 1,700 if you remember in the very first video 4 years ago. So this thing's up over 1,200 pounds now. And the weakest link is that tongue. And I would hate to sell this to somebody and them unexpectedly take it out, hit a big bump somewhere, that thing break, and it gets destroyed. He loses his money that he paid for it, and maybe possibly we hurt somebody. So where am I going with all this? I'm taking this thing up to a guy that builds trailers for a living, SMS Fabrication. His shop is behind my shop, and he's done several jobs for us. I had a Weekend Warrior in there where the frame rails were coming apart at the gussets, and the axles were, the frame rails were leaning into the tops of the tires, and he sanded that thing out. So I'm gonna have him build me a beefy tongue that will never fail. I'm gonna have him make it a little bit longer so I can put a deck on the front and a storage box, and then I'm gonna finish the rest. I'm gonna do the fenders, I'm gonna do a rear bumper, permanently mount the license plate, I'm gonna do the permanent wiring on the lights, and then a couple things on the interior, and then I'm gonna put it up for sale. So why don't you guys tell me what you think I can get for this? I know the market's up right now. I know that these crazy trailers go for, I've seen as high as like 20 grand. I don't want to get rich here. I just want to get my money back and maybe a little more and sell it for probably what it's worth under market a little bit, so someone gets a little bit of a deal and then they can enjoy it. I want to try to get it ready by camping season, which in California, it's year-round camping season, but the sand season starts in October and the camping season ramps up and people are looking for campers. So I'm trying to get it done by October. So once, like I said before, after I get it back, I'll go over all the work that was done, I'll put it in my garage, and we'll begin getting this thing ready for the market. So this has been a great project for me and my kid over all the years, just like I said in the last update video. But it's time for someone else to enjoy it and for us to move on. And we're gonna continue and try to buy like a 14 to 16 foot toy hauler that I can tow with this. He's 10 now. We started this when he was 7, 3.5 years ago. And I want to keep camping with him and building our relationship. That's pretty much it. All right, that's a lot easier. Remember I used to have to lift this thing? Something I talked about the whole time I was building this thing was reinforcing the tongue, because the steel that the tongue is made with is just as flimsy as the frame. Now the frame's been welded together, it's been bolted to a 1-inch sheet of oak, and I think the frame is going to last forever. It's going to be sturdy. But the tongue was actually flexing every time we'd go camping, and man, it freaked me out. And it had that cheap aluminum little coupler on the front, and that was actually bending in the bolt holes, widening those bolt holes after all the trips we've made. So it is October 9th, and after sitting for another year and being only used once last year, we are coming back working on this camper starting this weekend. With the 2-inch coupler because 1 7/8, 2-inch are all the smaller ones, and then you get up to the 2 5/16 or whatever it is. Every little garden trailer I've ever purchased had a 1 7/8 ball on it, even like this new garden trailer I bought like a year and a half ago. But now they all come with 2-inch. I think they're doing away with 1 7/8, so I went to the 2, which is just better. But here's the job he did, welding it to the top, to the bottom, so it's pulling from 2 spots, and then it's crossing right here, super stable, and 2-inch tubing. Got this all fabbed in super tight, and there's absolutely no flex. Let's take a look underneath.
It's sketchy.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
You ready to do some camping?
Yeah.
We only got to go once last year.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah.
But we did 2 family trips. So then he's got this other subframe coming all the way back here, tied in here.
Oh, I didn't even know it came back here.
So it's distributing the weight further back. So super sando job, couldn't be happier. So now on to working on the camper. So the first order of business is going to be putting this tongue jack in correctly, because look how the foot's crooked. So it's actually cool that he put bolts in here, so when this thing fails, I can replace it. He didn't just weld it in. I probably would have just welded it in thinking, oh, I want it strong, but my guy he welded this whole piece of plate in, and underneath are nuts welded to the bottom, so you could just take it out and replace it. So what I'm doing now is I'm retracting the foot all the way up, and I'm gonna clock this lever so that when it's retracted for towing, this lever's out of my way. So we want this sideways. So it actually doesn't go perfectly sideways. If you look at the foot down there, this is the way it was, right? And if I turn it sideways, it's better, but it's not all the way. Yep, it's just gonna be this way. I'm just gonna leave it like that, clocked like that. And hopefully all these nuts and bolts screw back in the right place, and it doesn't look like they're gonna do that. All right, so that accomplished nothing, because no matter how you spin this, the legs never sideways, and the bolt holes don't line up perfectly, and it looks funny. So he's got this perfectly square, but that's hokey. So what I can do is drill different holes in the bottom, just flip that shoe sideways, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I also removed this chain right here because I'm gonna put a beefier chain on here, and instead of just running it underneath one of these bolts, I'm gonna do what everyone else does and weld like a loop here on both sides. And that way you have a chain across like this, so that the tongue falls into the X of the chain if it ever comes unhooked. So we'll get there, but for now I'm done with this part. see how this worked out here. All right, there you go. So if you ever run one of these kind of clips like this on anything that you're driving, you always want to run it this way so it closes to the rear. So as you're driving, if anything hits this, it's not going to pop it open. So just another thing I learned towing. Now it's right. All the nooks and crannies. There you go. Keep dusting.
Money in here. I'm gonna back up there. Yikes. Thank you. Ow. Ow. Already I'm hitting my head. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's good.
You still fit up there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so far away from the...
All right.
Okay. I mean, with my pillow, it may be a little bit smaller, but...
We'll have to figure it out. All right, so what we're doing is, you saw he fits kind of tight. We're gonna drop the bed 5 inches. I've already got 2 of the holes drilled here. And then I gotta drill this one, but 5 inches comes right here. I'm just gonna drill through the wood. I don't care. It's gonna drill right through, right there. Right through that staple.
Right through the staple.
Ouch.
Kill yourself, man.
Alright, there's a nice neat hole. Now, cutting in this access part's going to be a little tricky.
Oh, that's gonna be...
I used to have this really cool handheld skill saw. See if I still have that.
Remember when we messed up our sink for this thing?
Mm-hmm.
I should be wearing safety gloves.
Yeah, see that? I dropped it 5 inches, and that's going to give him a ton more room up here. So let's get him up here and see what it looks like. Give it a try.
Okay.
I think it'll work.
Hey, I actually have room. I can actually. Camera's like about to fall over.
Like we could turn the movie
Yeah,
to you,
I
huh?
could have
Or
my-
you could lay on this end or something.
Yeah, I like it.
Lay down all the way. Let's see what it looks like.
Like this, I can fit just fine.
Yeah, so you'll be good, huh?
Yeah.
So another cool thing is we can actually fold it up without taking it down. We weren't able to do that before. We'd have to take it down, fold it up, and it was really a pain in the butt. So I just hacked these things in here. They're not pretty, but they only need to get us through one more season, because we were going to buy a camper this season again. I've been saying that for years, but every winter something has come up. Last winter we built the pool, and that's been beneficial. Our property value went through the roof. Our equity has risen double beyond what it cost to put the pool in. Some of that is the crazy market right now. Some of that is the increase in value from the pool. So why are we not going to buy a camper this winter? Well, after being in a location since 2004, my business, and I've been leasing there, and it's gone up 3% a year ever since. I had the opportunity to purchase a neighboring building that's over twice the size of my shop. The parking's twice the size. The payment on the loan would be less than my rent payment now, and I would own it, and I'd be out from under a landlord. And I've tried to get that building twice before since 1999, and it never happened. So we're in escrow now, and we're just waiting to see what happens. So we're going to have to make this camper work for another season for me and my buddy. Like I said before, we wanted to get like a small 16-footer. We're going to put that on hold because we're saving every penny to just prepare for hiccups and speed bumps along the way. So I'll keep you posted on that. That's the good news. So we are still going to do a family trip where we have a camper dropped for us. But for now, we're going to use this camper at least one more season. And then most likely after that, we will sell it. I'll detail it out and get everything finished. I have a huge list of things I want to do. Here's just a small part of that list. But we're going to keep fixing her up. Right now, what I'm doing is these doors always open when we're traveling. When we get where we're going, they fall open. And the reason is these little metal things, I hot glued them on here. These little metal pieces that go here, and they're meant to keep it closed. These have all come off because I just hot glued them, but I'm going to epoxy them now to get them all fixed up.